the beginning of an incredible odyssey in which John Carter, a gentleman from Virginia and a Civil War veteran, unexpectedly finds himself onto the Red Planet. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host, Liam, aka Himvar. Today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Edgar Rice Burroughs' A Princess of Mars. Princess of Mars is the first book in the Barsoom, or John Carter series. It is a classic sword and planet, or planetary romance, or science fantasy book by Edgar Rice Burroughs, released originally in 1912. John Carter is a Virginian man from the time around the American Civil War, and he is a man of about 30 years, and seems to have always been so, as he does not remember a childhood. Even when he dies, he also returns, and he does not seem to age. While in Arizona, shortly after the Civil War, he finds himself transported to Mars after dying, seemingly. I would like to say that this was extremely easy to read, which is something I always fear when I'm reading older books. And honestly, it felt like it was written to be told around the fire, though it is in first person, being a recollection written down later. Like a classic hero brought into a 20th century setting. That's kind of what John Carter reminds me of. This is over 100 years ago, though, and some of the word usage would be considered problematic, to say the least, today. This is really only prevalent at the start of the story, however, as the rest takes place in the fantastical setting of Mars. While a mighty demigod-like hero, John is rather humble. He's not a coward, and he's brave, and he really just tries to do the right thing. And he honestly is in a really big learning position as he finds himself in Mars, which is something he, of course, as someone from Earth, has never experienced, and he doesn't understand the culture or so much what is going on, at least at the start. As a veteran, he's already a tough man, but on Mars, he is even stronger as he is used to Earth's gravity. And the gravity is, of course, lower on Mars. There is a decent amount of action throughout, which is kind of a staple of the sword and planet genre, and there is also a good amount of sadness, too. Things don't go as nicely as you would like, or maybe expect, and it messed some with my emotions. I wasn't expecting. It's all the nuance, really. The story is also considered a planetary romance, and this features mostly the title is called A Princess of Mars, right? And so Dejah Thoris is definitely not a damsel in distress. She is brave and resolute. Though native to Mars, she resembles the humans of Earth in most things, though all Martians, they're not mammals, and so they have eggs, and that's where their children are born. But anyways, the ancient people of Mars did resemble Earthlings as well, and their ruins dot the dying landscape, where the seas have dried up and the atmosphere has essentially failed and must be artificially preserved by machinery. Of course, the ones that look like Earthlings are the red Martians. There are the green Martians, which you can see on that Michael Whelan cover. They're hairless giants from about 12 to 15 feet tall, with some extra appendages that work as arms and legs. They also have domesticated animals, one type specifically filling the role of, dogs on Earth. John Carter gets one as a companion. Ula, I believe, is its name, and it makes a nice duo of a man and dog. Essentially, it's Fido. It's very loyal of sorts. And then they also don't raise children the same, as all eggs are put into a community incubator, and a woman will raise whatever little Martian it catches when they hatch. But the children know no father, and the mother wouldn't really be described as motherly either, as the love isn't really there. At age 40, they reach adulthood and can live up to 1,000 years, but most die in battle beforehand. And while those are the green Martians, for the most part specifically, of course there are the red Martians, as I already mentioned, and then there are the white apes, which are exactly as they sound. The green ones are somewhat reminding me of the Cielson from Sun Eater, and the planetary romance stuff somewhat reminded me of, Valka and Hadrian from Sun Eater as well, though I don't know if there's actually any correlation there. It's just, a romance, which that might just be the only correlation. Though some of these covers actually remind me a lot of the Sword and Planet cover. from Bain, as edited by Christopher Rocchio. Anyways, the story is very romantic, and the cultures of Mars, or Barsoom, as the Martians call it, is very well showed throughout the story as we get to learn it, as John Carter is learning it. The characters are rather interesting, and they show up at varying parts in the story. We have Tars Tarkas, who is a green Martian, Cantos Khan, who's a red one, Sola, who is a green Martian. And of course, there's huge points for originality here, and this is a very seminal work for many science fantasy works that followed. I mean, as far as 20th century works go, I feel like it'd be kind of hard to say a more seminal work, though of course there's the Lord of the Rings and other things, but this is one of those that I feel like should be read by more people and maybe even studied, because I mean this is like I said, it's rather important for the genre as a whole. And overall, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't really what I was expecting. I was expecting more sword and sorcery and space, but like I mentioned, the romance focus is there. The bad things happening thing is there. Of course, our protagonist is, he is somewhat like a sword and sorcery protagonist, where he's brave, and doesn't really show much fear at all, but he's a little bit more nuanced in some of his emotions as compared to some sword and sorcery protagonists, which are great characters as well, but are just different. Anyways, I really enjoyed this. I will be watching the John Carter of Mars movie here probably tomorrow as of recording this. I may make a separate video of that, though I do hear good things, though I believe it got pretty bad reviews and underperformed, but I'm looking forward to watching that. Is from 2012. I believe Disney made it. That is on the 100th anniversary of A Princess of Mars. And this series is also several books. It might be like 7, 8, or 9 books, I'm not quite sure. And Gods of Mars is book 2, and I do plan on getting to that one soon, because I really enjoyed this, as hopefully you can tell. Anyways, been Liam with Liam's Lyceum. Let me know if you've read this. Let me know if you've read any other Sword and Planet. This is technically my first, I would say, so at least of the classical sort. But I'll catch you next time.